Yo, what's up Realm Royale gamers? I'm Dr. Tepper, top tournament player in OB23, and today I'm going to be going over some rules that I use in order to win every single 1v1 in Realm Royale. Here we go. Rule number 1, use right peek advantage at all times. Your weapon will be primarily on your right side, and it essentially fires from your right shoulder. Right shoulder peeking is the strongest advantage that you can give yourself in the neutral game. You're kidding me, phone. You're kidding me. You're kidding. As you can see here, it is much quicker to take right peeks, meaning that it is significantly harder for the enemies to time their shots. When you take left peeks, however, it gives the enemy a larger window to attack you, making it more likely for you to take damage when leaving cover. As you can see here, this bot was able to shoot me and damage me when I took a left peek. When I took a right peek, however, he did not even attempt to fire because I didn't show enough of my model. Sometimes it is necessary to take a left peek, however. If you are at the corner and your enemy will surely catch you with a right peek of their own, it is wise to take a jump left peek. This will probably result in you being shot, but you will have a high chance of landing a headshot of your own, and if you do it correctly, you are taking the fight into the open where no one will have a right peek advantage. For long range fights, most people just shoot the corner of your right side peek. To avoid being hit, it is really effective to go far away from the cover to ensure that the enemy has to predict your strafe in order to hit you. In this example, all I'm doing is shooting his right peek corner and taking a wide peek. He can't hit me, but I'm consistently hitting him. The next set of rules will be primarily geared towards how to manage the abilities of both your enemy and yourself. That leads us into rule number 2. Use abilities with crowd control. Specifically, grounding shock, soul gust, concussion grenade, or blast arrow. While Skull of Chaos and Firebomb are really powerful abilities to abuse in the neutral game, I do not advise using them if you want to win every single 1v1. CC is required in order to ensure that you are maximizing your chances to win fights. These two abilities are really gigasoy in 1v1s and have more value in team fights with more players involved. The main thing that you need to be constantly doing in your solo fights is identifying what abilities your enemy is using and then tracking the cooldowns on those abilities. You will then be able to make a decision on what to do once you have that information. To explain better, I'll give you some examples from fights that I recorded. In this first example, I tracked that the enemy assassin used his blink to close distance and also used his conk unsuccessfully. Knowing that he has no offensive ability to punish me and no movement ability to defend against my CC, I can freely use my cooldowns on him in order to secure the fight win. This next fight is a little bit more dynamic. This warrior misses his soul gust on me, so I know that I can freely use my movement ability to close distance. I save my blast for when he lands from his leap because I know that he will have no defense against it. This leads to an easy fight win. Here, I see that my opponent has a Skull of Chaos. Since he has no CC, I know that I can use my movement ability aggressively. Even if your enemy has a CC ability, you can use your movement ability offensively if they waste it. Be careful with this as you have a limited amount of time before their ability is available again. In this example, I hear the enemy warrior use his leap. I know that I can now punish his lack of mobility with my grounding shock, so I immediately press the advantage. Sometimes your enemy will successfully hit you with their offensive CC ability. When this happens, and you know that you will take damage, you should use your movement ability defensively. In general, it is a good idea to always save your movement ability so that you can use it reactively. Use it to outplay enemy crowd control or lack thereof, whether that be on the attack or defense. You know you are saving your movement ability well if you find that you are often using it after the enemy has already wasted their own. Another good time to use your movement ability is when the enemy is trying to close distance on you with theirs. Oftentimes, if a player is leaping at you, they will attempt to hit you with their full combination of abilities. To avoid this, it is wise to use your movement in order to escape the onslaught, as you can see me doing in these two examples. Another important rule for winning every fight is to use vision if you are playing Assassin or Hunter. Sensor Drone and Flare are very powerful abilities, as they allow you to see your enemy through walls. Vision is also a direct counter to stealth or invisibility abilities. To that point, it is generally a bad idea to pick up stealth abilities, as you are likely to fight someone who is utilizing vision. If you do happen to come across someone who has vision, you should not peek them when their ability is active. If you are fighting a Flare Hunter, try and force a fight inside of a building, as Flare thrives in open areas. Inversely, if you are fighting a Sensor Drone Assassin, take the fight to an open area if possible, as the drone is hard to use in that setting. The last rule I will give you is to push your advantages. If you have your movement ability and your enemy is lower health than you, you can attack them while they are waiting on their cooldowns to come back. One super effective way to ensure that you will win a fight that you already have the advantage in is to drink a potion while your enemy is kiting away from you. This will make them feel safer, and they will likely drink a potion as well. You can then use your movement to close distance and attack them while they are defenseless in the potion drinking animation. And that will be it for the set rules that I will be giving you. Now I have a few tips that can lead you to massively outplaying your enemies. It is no secret that the warrior is the most dominant class in solos, and if you want to win every 1v1, you need to know how to easily win against a warrior. The axe is a very powerful weapon and can kill you in 3 shots. However, there are some tricks that I use in order to evade this damage and win most fights against warrior players. Trick number 1. The axe has a wind-up time before it is thrown. To your advantage, the audio of the axe plays before the enemy will peek. So in order to shut down axe warriors, all you need to do is pre-fire their right peek corner as soon as you hear the axe audio. Here is a really good example of me using this trick in game. As you can see, with me dodging axes and using this trick, this warrior player did not hit me once. Another viable strategy to dethroning warrior players is to use the cold-blooded talent on assassin. This talent allows for you to force the warrior's leap with your first conk, and while he attempts to land on you, you can blink away, thus refreshing your conk cooldown, and CC him again, securing the fight win. While those tips are extremely useful, the best way to counter warrior on any class is simply to pick up the Soul Gust. If you hit this ability on any leaping warrior, you will prevent them from getting their brutality damage and hitting any subsequent axes. Any warrior main you ask would tell you that it is infuriating to be hit by a Soul Gust mid-leap. Alright, Realm Royale gamers. I hope you learned something today, and I can't wait to see you all out in the realm clapping cheeks.